Jasper Hendricks, and you're listening to Talk to Me, a Prowl Radio interview segment, and today I am here with Rat Path.
Hello!
Hey!
So do you all want to go around and say your name, your pronouns, and what you do in the band?
Yeah.
My name is Cora, pronouns she, her. I play the bass.
My name is Fred, my pronouns are they, them, and I sing and also scream.
My name's Nikki, pronouns she, they, and I play the drums.
My name's Rosie, pronouns are she or they. I play guitar, I sing a little bit.
Awesome. Nice to meet all of you.
Yeah, likewise.
So the first question I have for all of you is, what got you into like the DIY music scene in the first place?
Here in Milwaukee,
Or just anywhere, wherever you got your start?
the answer would be different for these two, but Cora and I were in a different project,
Okay.
and we were on tour together, and we decided we didn't like where we were living, so we were going to move to the city we had the most fun in, and that ended up being Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing music since I was a kid, but never really saw myself as being in like bands because I had this like idea that you had to either have something like truly special to say or like have like truly special talent. But once I don't know, after a few years you see so many bands that are just a bunch of dudes hanging out. You're like, oh no, you can just get together with your friends.
I can hang out.
I can hang out. I'm great at that.
Yeah, I mean, the accessibility, I don't know, DIY is just really approachable and easy to get into. There's a lot of community around it. I'm from the Fox Valley area, so I moved down here like 6 years ago and started a different band and then joined these guys, and yeah, that's how I got into the scene, was through another band, and then I met these guys.
So the next question I have, do you have any like specific pre-show rituals? That you
Oh,
do?
we do.
100%. Yeah. You want to see it?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Something like that.
That's what we do.
Is there any specific meaning behind that, or?
So the little humming thing, that would be something that I would do a lot to like, especially when I was younger and was not so good at like self-soothing or like dealing with social anxiety and stuff. I would do that at times when I was like overwhelmed or overstimulated. I would just like sit by myself and go, and then Fred and I started doing that in our last band as a way to like center ourselves before the sets, and then once we started this band, we indoctrinated everyone else.
I had no idea why we were doing it. I was just like, let's do it.
No, same.
So it's really just like an experience.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like togetherness and like it's us just being like, hey, you know, we're all together. We're gonna have a good time regardless.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
We had a couple really bad sets with the former project where we were like, okay, we just gotta, you know, and that's where that was born. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like equal. It has like some elements of like, yeah, like it's a centering moment, but it's also like you're holding hands with your friends. Sometimes we like all like push our heads into the middle. One day we're gonna have a massive lice outbreak because of it.
We also do a wave sometimes.
Yeah, it has like
We mix it up.
elements of just kind of like connecting to each other. And,
Yeah.
because you gotta have that connectivity when you're playing on stage. Like, you gotta look like you like each other. Like,
It's always important to be just a little bit of just hanging out.
Yeah. I guess how much of that togetherness goes into your music, like working all together.
Hopefully all of
Yeah.
it.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
completely and
Yeah.
utterly.
Yeah.
We all write our own parts.
Okay.
We tend to write as a group. Like we'll like have like individual break-offs, like where we'll get together during the week in like pairs or whatever, and like, you know, just to workshop stuff. But when we're writing a song, it's like everybody is
Everyone
bringing
in
their
their
own
way.
Collaborative process.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
We do a lot of listening to the demo back to like, hey, are these two parts going together? Or should we like edit it somehow?
And I mean, initially, like, we wouldn't even edit it. It would just be like, okay, that's your part. You like it? I love you so much, my friend.
Yeah, we've grown. We've grown as a band.
Yeah. artists that you've played with on tour, like individual shows?
Yeah, that just happened, right?
Yeah, we just played with like one of my favorite bands of all time, Mr. Gnome, down in Chicago last night. That was a really surreal experience. Some other bands I can think of. There's Meek from Detroit. There's Makeout Palace from Boston.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Makeout Palace. They were so good.
There's Lung from Cincinnati.
They're great.
They're homies. And Jer.
Oh yeah, we
From
got to play
Florida
with
was
Jer
really
this
cool.
year too.
That was
Oh, that was
huge.
fun.
That was really fun.
Vile's really sweet too.
Oh yeah. We've played with a lot of really good bands.
Yeah.
We actually are going to play with Sorry Mom on
Oh,
November
awesome.
11th, and that is a band that like I as a vocalist get compared to so much,
Oh,
like
okay.
on like TikTok or whatever. People are like, you sound kind of like Sorry Mom, which like is a compliment,
Yeah.
obviously. So when I saw they were coming to Milwaukee, I sent a lot of DMs. I pleaded.
Tying into that, do you have a dream artist to collab with?
Like collab on a song or just a show?
Song.
Oh,
I do.
who's that?
It would never happen.
Yeah.
But if Missy DeBice from Mannequin Pussy, can I say that on here?
Yeah.
From Mannequin Pussy wanted to collab with me, my soul would leave my body. Missy, if you're listening,
Please.
you can DM me on Instagram.
Like on a little more local level, like Scarlet would be a great band to like.
Oh, from
collab.
Chicago,
From Chicago.
Scarlet. I love Scarlet Demore.
They're a great band.
I love
That's
them
another
so
like
much.
great band, but yeah,
They're fantastic.
I'd love to collab with them on something. That'd be super cool.
Any other?
Yeah,
Yeah.
do y'all have?
I don't know if I got one off the top of my head. It's all Also, historically, our collabs have not
Been
gone,
great.
Not gone well for the other bands.
Oh my god. She's joking about the old bands too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have a dream collab off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, Tool.
No. Cora likes Primus.
Oh,
Cora
Primus.
loves both of them.
See, I thought it was like a
Either
Ween
or.
girl.
all of the above.
I like just that one song.
Yeah, the
Ocean
Ocean
Man.
Man.
Yeah.
So what are some of your like main influences, and have those changed over time at all, or have they stayed mostly the same?
Like individually or as a collective?
Could be either.
Okay.
Oh, well, when Cora and I first founded this band, it was like we were on a major MCR kick, like down bad for and I mean, I've always been a huge MCR fan, but like that fandom like circled around and came back into my life where it like was my personality for like 6 months. Great personality to have.
Yeah.
But, so we founded this band because we're like, we're gonna make music like MCR, but also not like
Well,
MCR.
country.
Yeah, well, yeah, we had like a country-ish like spin to it. You can hear that in like the earlier work, but as the band has grown and we've recruited these two lovely ladies, it's more of a collective like influences being put together and less we're focusing on like one band that's our heroes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a ton of like different genre influences, like screamo and emo and like punk music, but that I try to bring to the table. And I find myself like I'm like, oh, what am I in the mood to listen to right now? And then I'm like finding myself listening to stuff that I haven't listened to in 6 or 7 years, and then bringing that to like the writing process.
Yeah. My whole wheelhouse is just this specific sound from the 90s, like Built to Spill, Dismemberment Plan, like all that. And I do think my 90s sensibilities do come through, especially
yeah.
on the newer EP.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I do love disco too.
Yeah.
So.
When we started writing the second album, it's a very much a country album, but I was like, guys, we're a really good emo band. We're overcomplicating it.
Yeah, she said that so many times until we were like, okay, you're
Yeah,
right,
I-
you're
you
right.
know
Well,
what?
now
You got a
we're
point.
emo grunge. We were country emo,
Grunge.
emo grunge.
Screamo.
Gremo. We're just rap up. I don't know.
I love that.
Maybe you're a bear. Maybe I just bought you. Just need a single hair, and you can go your own way.
So what were some of the? You just had an EP come out not
Yeah.
long ago. What were some of the musical inspirations behind that, if there were any specific?
I mean, there were specific ones. There was Scarlet.
Scarlett D'Amour, Weekend Friends, Mannequin Pussy, Front Bottoms, IDK, not IDK, it's You Sly Dog, You Got Me Monologuing. Our single was like very like, I wouldn't say it's like full-blown Midwest emo, but we really like honed in on that like kind of like vocal style and like the ballad like storytelling.
Then it was like, let's write an emo album, but then once we like started putting everything together, I found myself being like, I should listen to 90s music for like this, because I like went really fuzzy with the guitars and
I'm sounding good.
I know you think that.
Yeah.
Also, like, vocally, I pulled some, like, inspiration from, like, local vocalists that I really like. Shout out to, like, Jasmine from Bug Moment. There's one song where I'm just, like, trying to channel my inner Bug Moment, because I'm like, God, I love that band, and I want to pay a little homage to that, that homiehood we have.
If you touch me again, I will take your bucket hands. If you touch me again, I'll touch me again.
We have a specific, going back to writing, is there a specific creative process when it comes to lyrics?
Different?
So I think that a lot of times I'll write a poem and then that poem gets turned into the song. As like, you know, I sing and sometimes I play an instrument or whatever, but like, I think I'm a poet first and foremost. Like that's always been like my go-to even as like a small child, to like write poems or lyrics when I felt something. And like, a lot of our lyrics from this EP especially were like me going through my notebook and looking for like moments in time where I felt something and putting that to go with the riff and stuff like that.
Yeah, because there's like the streamlined version of writing where like Fred writes a song and is like, or has lyrics and like sometimes chords because they play guitar, and like we take that and we write a song around it. But then also there's times where like we put something together and then like we're really insistent about it, and then Fred's like, wait, I have this like thing I wrote, anywhere between like one and like this like week and 3 years ago that would be perfect for this. And like sometimes it happens faster, and sometimes it's more of like okay, this is gonna take like a few practices or like even months to like get it to the point where it's like, no, now this is like a full song. Like Curses Part 2 had
lyrics from a song from like 8 years ago.
But that like also was like lyrically was like stagnated for a while, where it was like, I don't know if this is anything, and then we came back to it, and like that's a personal favorite for a couple of us.
Yeah, it's my favorite. It turned out a lot better than I thought it would.
It's a good song. You should go check it out.
So with the EP that just came out, I guess, I know you said poems. What was it like writing something that's a little more autobiographical, if you're okay sharing?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. It kind of, so the first two albums were both like conceptual albums, and like they were still like autobiographical in a sense, because like I was pulling from personal experience. Cora co-wrote the lyrics for the second album, so same for her. But with this one, I kind of was coming out of this horrific bout of like imposter syndrome, and when I came out of it, I'm like, I'm just gonna write about me for a little while. Like I'm gonna get down to the bare bones of it and write what I'm feeling. And it came together where each song, I'm a different age in each song, and so it kind of like the concept created itself.
Okay.
So it was nice to see that like come together.
Just anywhere you've been to.
The Art.
It's
not a venue.
It's
It's a festival in South Bend, Indiana.
Cool. I think it would count.
We played 2 years in a row. Bless them for having us 2 years in a row. But yeah, it's this art festival. It started just being like a festival in someone's yard. and then it's like grown into being like in like a city park, like a state park, like in the woods.
Just in the middle of the woods, it's like this big psychedelic experience where like all the trails lead to like it's all connected. It's like a spider web. It's super cool.
It's like what Electric Forest was before Electric Forest became incredibly popular.
Okay.
Like it's very like
Just
intimate
in the woods,
and like and it's like the installations are like built into the woods too.
That's really neat.
Super
Yeah.
cool.
I think my favorite venue that we've played at is probably the venue Purgatory in
Oh yeah.
Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, that one does go.
That
crazy.
we played there twice as well. It's always a really, really incredible time. What I love about that venue, you know, it's not that it's like the biggest or most convenient space or has the nicest sound system, but just like the vibe, the people who show up there, the bands that play there. Last time we played a show that was part music, part local professional wrestling.
Oh.
It was really
like on the
cool.
same bill, and so it's just always something really unique and really interesting and like a vibe that I've never found anywhere else. So that's got to be my favorite.
My favorite venue is Voodoo House in Detroit. It's a basement venue. Our friends run it, and we have never had a bad time there.
All right, if we're doing actual venues, I'll have to give it to Dirty Dungarees.
Oh yeah.
It's a laundromat slash pizza shop slash venue.
Yeah.
And
So
like,
it's like
with a bar.
like you'll be playing this hardcore punk like set, and you'll look over and there's just a lady like doing her laundry, like,
And it's like it's a dive bar that is also a community space
Yeah,
during the day. Like it's not just a community space when it hosts
At night.
like a DIY punk show. It's a community space at all times, which I'm like, you know,
I don't
more
mess with that.
that'd be cool if more dive bars had like multi-use spaces where it wasn't
right.
just like this is where people drink and sometimes there's shows. Like,
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite?
it might be recency bias, but I really love Beat Kitchen in terms of like the
Ooh,
nicest,
yeah.
like the venues with like professional sound systems. Like, 'cause,
Yeah.
like Voodoo House, it has my heart forever, and like Dirty Dungarees is like one of the coolest. Like, I just monologued about how great the space is, but yeah, Beat Kitchen in Chicago where we played last night. We played there twice. The sound's amazing. They've got like a kitchen, so you can get a
Very
burger.
professional the way they run everything.
Their green
Yeah.
room's nice.
Also, like,
It sounds.
we should shout out our local venues.
Oh, of course.
My heart is with X-Ray and Cactus Club forever. It's always a pleasure to work with them.
Yeah. Promises too. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh
Milwaukee,
yeah, Promises.
We just haven't played Promises in
Yeah.
a while.
No,
but
Joey's a real one though.
Yeah. yeah, I don't know. Every time we're on the road, I find myself being like, you gotta come to Milwaukee to other bands. Like, you gotta come check out our scene. It's so great. And the venues, like those 3 venues that we just mentioned, are really important for like keeping how good for helping this scene be what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Have there been any memorable or funny moments from recent shows that you've played, or even in like the past, closer to when you started?
I don't
Anything
know.
that really
This
stands out.
coming to the top of my head, memorable shows is we were on tour last winter. We took a show at a queer house venue in Buffalo, New York, because like we love queer house venues, and
Let's go to
but we were like, okay, it's gonna be like an 8-hour drive because we were in Canada. Like, this is gonna be rough. And then we got into a snowstorm, and then we hit Toronto traffic, and we ended up being in the car for like 12 hours. We were
Yeah, it
like,
was really bad.
Who was driving for all that?
yeah. Nikki took over.
The bass player.
Yeah,
that was me.
yeah.
Bass player / bus driver.
Yeah, no, if you asked us what we did in the band like a few months ago, I would have added Passenger Princess to my resume. But, yeah, so we drive 12 hours. We all like roll out at this venue. And,
Like right before our set. Like
all-
we get there like as we
every
need to
single
play.
one of us was like, "Are you changing?"
No.
Before the
I was wearing like our merch, like
I was also wearing.
Yeah, because like when you're on tour, sometimes you just like wear your own merch in the car. I don't know, it's a thing, I guess. But I had the hoodie and the pants.
Oh my
and people
God.
were like, "What are
You're
you
really trying to
doing?"
sell that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't like a particularly like excellent show or anything, but it was kind of a bad time for some of us. But it's very funny in retrospect to be like, yeah, that was rough. I don't know. I find that stuff.
Sometimes it's like really like funny to look back on,
Yeah.
like, wow, I really pulled through on that one,
We
huh?
really did that one.
Testament to our perseverance.
Yeah.
One of my most memorable moments is at Yart this year. there's like a part of the song where the lyrics are "I don't want to go home," and I taught the audience it, and then like as the song changed and I sang different lyrics, they kept chanting it throughout the song, and it was perfect.
It was a great
It
moment.
worked perfect, and it was just like, it was a moment when like the entire audience was like locked in
Yeah.
for that set.
And like the audience like added something new to the song that we would never have come up with,
Yeah.
but like it was this very organic, like in the moment thing that made it a lot better.
I think we've been subtly signaling to audiences
Yeah, we're trying to
since
get
then
them
that they
to
should
do
do it, and I think
We got them to do it at the EP release.
We got- yeah.
Well, we've made it happen a
Yeah.
couple times, but that was the time where it happened without us.
Naturally.
we're not going to
even-
tell
yeah.
anybody to do it. But
Yeah.
If you do it, can't complain.
I know in your bio online you state that like there are queer-coded villains kind of that you bring up. Are there any ones in particular? Or?
So that's speaking mostly to like the first and second album, but the main characters, like the first album, it's a witch who is like fighting this demon, but they don't have their powers. And so they have to like physically like fist fight a demon. And that album was very much like autobiographical for me and like the allegories of it. And then the second album, we created these two characters where it was Cadence the Time Traveler and Susanna the Vampire, and they were in love. But it's like, I don't know about time travelers, but like witches, vampires, you know, and like you see in like cartoons they're always like queer coded and stuff, so we're like, this is actually the protagonist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the queer-coded villains in our songs are just us.
Yeah, now, in the EP it's just, yeah.
Now, if we're talking favorite queer-coded villains, Team Rocket. or the bunny from the Digimon movie.
That wasn't the question.
We can talk about this later.
I mean, he wasn't the bad guy, but he was a bad guy. Like,
What's the word, little bird? The worst cause joke I've ever heard. Pick the winner, what birdie's left to.
How often, I guess, do you all have interaction with fans, and I guess what's that experience
oh,
like?
so blessed. I love our fans.
At every show, I make a point of just like hanging out and talking to people. Usually after the set, before the set, I'm like, don't talk to me, I'll make choices. But I always say like on stage, like, please come talk to us. Please come
Please
say
do.
hi.
Like, we actually want to have a conversation. Like,
There's an old like folk punk song by Davey Dynamite from Chicago, and the lyrics are like friends not fans, and like that really sits with me. It's like, I might not know you, but like we're here having this moment together and we can be friends. Like it's not, you're just a fan, like friends.
Yeah. And especially like when it's like, we're lucky this happens more often in Milwaukee, obviously, because we're from here and we play here the most, but like when those fans keep coming to the shows to like keep making a point of like saying hi and like chatting with them, and like that's, when it, because it's, we're always gonna like share community and share like ideals with people, but like it's nice to be able to also just build on those relationships.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of why I love this city so much.
it's just like, it's really nice because like I remember when I was like younger and seeing bands, and they were kind of just mean and crude to me. Like, you know, like to see some of
Says
my
a lot about you.
just to see some of your favorite bands and just want to be like, hey, I love what you do and you inspire me as an artist, and then to just be like, don't talk to me. Like, I'm glad that I can be the person that I wanted to be, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I love connecting with the fans.
Yeah.
And like we've had some really cool experiences on tour, especially where it's like somebody's like, oh yeah, I found you guys on like TikTok, and like
Yeah.
I drove.
There was
I
someone
drove-
that
Someone drove 3 hours to see us, and that was before like our TikTok was really even popping off. I think we had like 500
Yeah.
followers or something.
And
But-
they like, and they're like talking about how excited they are to like see us, and you know, but they mentioned they make music, and so all of us are like, wait, let's talk about that.
let's hear some of that. Yeah.
Who cares about us? What do you make?
the end all be all for me is being a musician, is being able to connect with people. Like I like the singing and the dancing and stuff too, but like I want to create something that means something to other people and to
Authentic.
be able to like have that authentic relationship with the crowd and
Yeah.
the listener.
Yeah. So I have one more question for you guys. Do you have any projects in the works that you can tell the audience about?
Yeah. Do we want
Talk
to
about your little side project.
No. They mean like us, not our own personal other projects. I mean, we got like some singles in the
Yeah.
works that we're gonna be dropping over the next. I think
Year.
we're dropping one this upcoming month, right?
No. We have a song called The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and we don't know when we're gonna drop it because our producer is still working on it. But
okay.
once it's ready, we are gonna
Yeah.
start, because we honestly wrote that song for the internet. It's
Wrote it
just
for
like,
TikTok.
we wrote it for TikTok because that's where we kind of, got our launching point. So we wrote a song that we thought would be funny on the app and that people would like, so hopefully it goes well.
Yeah.
We have some other B-sides that didn't make it on the EP, but we recorded just so we have them that we'll be releasing in 2025, just kind of when it makes sense, when it feels right. So,
And then we're also just getting started on writing new material.
Yeah.
We have time.
Working on either a EP or maybe the third album.
We're giving
Yeah.
ourselves a little less pressure about like what we're writing before we write it. We're gonna just write some songs and
See how they
where
go
it goes.
together.
See what we
Yeah.
wrote.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. And we got the song that we're dropping this upcoming July is.
It's called
Okay.
DM stands for Dungeon Mommy,
Yes.
and it's about men and how men are bad.
Love it. Any other final comments, questions for me?
Yeah, what made you get into like, because I assume you interview a lot of bands around town, like what's your point of interest?
This
For
is
that.
actually my very first interview.
Hey.
from
Really?
radio. Yeah.
You're doing a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're a natural. I assume you've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
But what really got me into it is I've just always been into music, and then coming down here into the city for college, just getting to go to local shows, it's fun and
Yeah.
interesting to me.
What's your favorite Fall Out Boy album?
Ooh, that's a good one. I feel like I gotta go with From Under the Cork Tree.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was gonna
okay.
say.
I'm a big
It's gotta be that
Infinity
one.
on High fan myself, so. But
My
yeah, that's a
jacket's
great
sitting
album.
over there.
Oh, shit.
All right.
And I think
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much
thank
for
you.
taking the
Yeah.
time and
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for talking with me. This has been Talk to Me, a Prowl Radio interview segment. You can find us at Prowl Radio on Instagram, and where can we find Rat Bath?
Everywhere. We're on Instagram at ratbathmke, rat.bath.mke, but you'll figure it out. We're on TikTok, same username. We're on Threads, but I don't post there. So we're on Facebook. Don't. If you DM me on Facebook, I'm just not gonna respond. Like I have that in our bio. Like don't DM me. I'm not talking to you on here. And we are on X, formerly Twitter, but Rosie runs that
I
account.
don't post.
Yeah, occasionally she posts something really silly, so you
Yeah.
can follow us for that. But Instagram's probably the best way to find us
Keep
and
up.
figure out what we're doing. That's where we like post our show schedules, and
Tour
I always
schedules.
respond to DMs. I always talk to people, so
Awesome.
feel free to hit me up.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Have a great day.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That was awesome. How
Yeah.
was your first interview?
Yeah.